Toni Asante Lightfoot, and in February 1st of 1994, I started having folks come out and do poetry over at a place called It's Your Mug. And the way that I found that spot, I believe Joel Diaz Porter was like, yo, I hear there's a black-owned coffee shop in Georgetown. I was like, Georgetown? Man, black people in Georgetown.
Anymore.
And so I found it, and it was. And I was in there in like this ice cream colored, silk suits. I worked at a real estate agency, and I had my Barbara Bush pearls, because it was right up, Barbara Bush was it. And then I had like this blonde short hair. And Bruce Scott, who was the owner, was like a low-key black nationalist, like follower of Muhammad. He was like, what the hell? No. And I was like, but listen to this poem. So I did a piece, and he's like, oh, all right, so when do you want to start? And I went to my folio, and I said, well, the flyer says we start February 1st. He's like, oh, well, if the flyer says that, then I guess we do. And he allowed it to happen for 2.5 years. We went on until August 20th of 1996. And one of the reasons why I did it is because I am absolutely in love with the voice of my people. I'm absolutely in love with just our rhythms and our ways, and that DC had a thing with poetry where we really did sound like ourselves. We didn't sound like New York. We didn't sound like the whole little bop that they had going on. In Philly even, everyone in DC really had their own sound, and we really workshopped within that sound. And so it was something that I really just found fascinating and just loved so much. And then we also really loved to read. And part of it was because I wrote a whole bunch of books and it made everybody read. Because I know that if you're a sucky ass poet, it's because you don't know what really good poetry is. And it's not that I want you to write academically, because I hate academic poetry more than I hate Trump. You know what I'm saying? I need something where I'm going to feel something, where I want to change my ways. I want to repeat this forever. We could do poems in It's Your Mug, and folks would finish the line for you. If I had started off Those Winter Sundays. People knew Those Winter Sundays by Robert Hayden, and would go in and we could do a choral reading of it without even looking at a book. And every Halloween I would bring out The Raven. I mean, I'm not prejudiced, I don't care. A fun poem is a good poem is a fun poem, and I'll read it. And so we just had a good time with words, and I wanted everyone to, because I felt like poetry saved my life. I was one of those kids where if I got mad at you, I'd punch you in the face.
Go ahead now. I know.
So then I learned, I could cut you off with words. So then my words became my knives. And then I decided that I would try to be a surgeon and excise all the bad things in the world with words instead of,
Kyle, please.
Right, but so then when you fall in love like that, then you also meet this whole quirky society that was hanging out in DC and wanting the same thing. Right, there were folks who were about to quit really great jobs and that they were going to be poets. So their daddies had to drive down and be like, no. There were folks who sat up here and worked at the library that now houses DC poetry and history and all of that at the Yeoman Library. So we have a whole, oh my goodness, hello everybody, come on in and sit down and get warm.
I have to leave soon, but I'll stay a little bit.
You're gonna stay a little bit? Yeah. So here we are, and so those who remember, we had 3 sets. We might not go to get through all 3 sets tonight, but we're going to at least try. At the very least, we're going to do this first one. I'm going to read out the entire list. And then I'm going to tell you, as when I come up, I'm going to call from the seat who's next and then who's on deck, right? So everybody knows. It goes quickly. You will not read a long-ass poem. It is still Toni Asante Lightfoot. I love you dearly. Right? Even when you do your OPP, we're going to keep it short and sweet because we want to be able to get through this and not have people falling asleep, because some people will be drinking. Also, we're not as young as we used to be, people. That was 26 years ago. Right? And I thought I was old back then. That was the crazy thing. Oh my God. Who thought that 52 was going to bring me here like this? I know, but we did. I was acting like I was 52 back in the day. It's crazy.
I'm still cautious.
I like being around y'all old people who act like I'm a baby.
52. I'm like,
that's funny. Okay. Also, too, I read as much as I can.